Hello everyone, this is me Ashish Verma. Welcoming to all of you on my YouTube channel Ashish Engineering. Hope everybody is doing great and living happily with their families. So basically in today's video we are going to cover FIDIC some important sections that are really important for a beginner who is coming in the construction field, particularly in the contract field. All right. And what is FIDIC? Basically, in FIDIC, in simple word, I can say it is Mool Mantra. It's a type of book that has all the Mool Mantras for the construction contract. All right. So there are different type of FIDIC books: yellow book, green book, red book, silver book, and based on the type of and the scope of work, books varies. So we'll talk about all these books in different video. But in this video, we are going to cover some important sections that are used in a day-to-day basis. And if you know all these sections, then you will start understanding the basics of the FIDIC contract. All right. So without any further delay, let's start from the definition section. And one more request: if you are new here in this channel, for getting this kind of information, please be the part of this beautiful family and subscribe this channel. So, okay, let's start from the definition section. So in definition, there are different clauses listed in the FIDIC contract, but I have taken only the important ones that are actually generally used in a day-to-day basis. What is contract actually? So the first clause 1.1.1 says about contract. So in general terms, you can say contract is basically a document that has all these things. All right, what are these things? Basically, contract agreement, the letter of acceptance, the letter of tender, the conditions, basically conditions related to particular condition of the particular project, and the some general condition that we call as GCC. And apart from those things, specifications will be there, drawings will be there, schedule will be there for the particular project. So all these things combined make a contract book. All right. And what are the money and payment? What is mean by money and payment? All right. So money is related to the cost. All right. So what is cost? Basically cost is basically whatever the cost that comes from the starting of the project to the closing of the project, that comes under the cost, excluding, remember this, excluding the profit of the contractor. All right. I hope you have got the basic idea about definitions. Now let's go to interpretation. There are some contractual terms that are used in day-to-day basis of the contract. So you need to know as a beginner what is mean by tender. Tender is generally it's a basically synonym of bid. All right. You can also say that tender document, bidding document, or contract document. It's all are synonym of tender only. And what is mean by cost plus profit? Basically, it is generally 5% given in each of the contracts, each of the projects contracts, particular contract. If it is not given, it is generally taken as 5%, but it varies. It can even go up to 10% and 15%. Maximum limit is 15% for cost plus profit. Cost plus profit. So how does this contractor get cost plus profit? Let's say contractor is executing a particular project, XYZ project. All right. And there is a schedule, and in the based on that schedule he has to complete that project within 20 days. And if he completes that project under 20 days, I mean on 20th day or under 20 day, on 18th day, so his employer will be very happy. So based on his quality of work and the safety precautions that he has taken and the type of structure he has made, so based on that, employer will get happy. And then there is a provision in the contract: if he does that, then he will get 5% of the cost that was given, that was for complete project. All right. And it as I told you, that if employer is happy, it can even go up to 10% and 15%. All right. Now let's talk about law and languages. All right. So basically each and every project, so generally what happen in construction industry, all project have a huge cost. All right. So if there is no governing authority, then there can be a lot of problem, because the construction industry is it's a very big industry, and it is not that well organized like other industries. All right. And it is very human intensive industry. So there are some governing laws. So governing laws related to state government, central government, or any other authority that are given in the contract data and has to be followed by the employer and the contractor both. And for every project, there has to be one particular mode of language in which the communication will be happening. That will also be given in the contract. Generally, it is English. It will be given in that. All right. So these are basically the things that comes under the law and languages. And every party, whether it is employer or the contractor, everybody has to follow these law and languages. All right. Okay, now let's move on next topic, next point. So we'll see the priority of documents. So basically, as I told you that what is contract? Contract is basically is a combination of many uh, many conditions. All right, so it has some documents. So it's basically, you can say, not condition, so set of documents that make a complete contract. All right, so what are the set of documents that you have to make sure that are included in the contract? The first one will be the agreement. अब जैसे मैं हिंदी में बोलूँ आपको, जैसे आप कोई दो दोस्त हो, किसी काम को स्टार्ट करना चाहते हो, तो तुम क्या करोगे, पहले यार आपस में बात करोगे, आइडिया डिस्कस करोगे कि हाँ 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 भाई ये बनाना है, ऐसा कुछ करना है, ठीक है। फिर उसके बाद दोनों लोगों का तालमेल बैठ जाएगा, देन आप किसी एक म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग पे आ जाओगे। सो दैट विल बी योर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एग्रीमेंट। ऑलराइट, एंड फिर उसके बाद क्या होगा कि भाई तुम्हारा एग्रीमेंट तो हो गया, वर्बली हो गया, अब उसको गवर्निंग लॉ के थ्रू किसी पीस ऑफ पेपर में जहाँ पे आप दोनों साइन करोगे, फिर उसके बाद आपको भाई एक्सेप्ट करोगे, ठीक है, तुम भाई अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हो, तुम अपनी एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हो, राइट। सो बोथ द पार्टीज विल बी साइनिंग इन अ पर्टिकुलर लेटर दैट इज नोन एज लेटर ऑफ acceptance. All right, and then there will be letter of tender, and then there will be, as I told you, each project had its own particular PCC. That is basically, it's not that PCC plain cement country, it is basically particular condition of the contract. All right, and then there will be some general GCC, general condition of the contract, and the specification related to material, related to quality, related to safety, and related to the execution. And there will be drawings. There will be first tender drawings for quoting the tender, and after that, once the tender is awarded to a particular contractor to build the structure, basically there will be GFC drawings. That is known as, GFC stands for good for construction drawing. And then there will be schedule rates and other payment terms and all right. So these are the priorities of the document that has to be there in the contract. So as a beginner contract practitioner, you should focus on these documents. All right. And what are the contracts agreement basically? Let's see. So there will be different agreements that will be happening between the contractor and the employer. So there will be execution timeline agreement. So what happens once the LOA is given to the contractor? So within 28 days after the contractor received the letter of acceptance, so the party that has been awarded the LOA, he has to come into the agreement and he has to submit all the required document, and he has to go at site and start the work. And what will be the agreement basis? So the contract agreement basis will be based on the, as I told you, particular condition of the contract. From where this particular condition of the contract has been taken, there may be some local governing authorities, they will be having their own condition of the contract like CPWD, PWD, or NPCIL, or NAHI. All right, so they will be having their, based on the structure, based on the building, and based on the construction activities, there will be particular condition of the contract. So that will act as a agreement basis. But they will, apart from that, there will be some general condition of the contracts also that are taken, uh, that will be used for everyone. All right, if something happens, any uh, uh, dispute happens, then these general condition of the contracts are being used to basically come up with the solution. All right, and what will be the cost responsibility for all these things that will be done in the beginning itself, whether it is a contract agreement, whether it is a letter of acceptance and all. So what are the, whatever the cost that will be coming for the stamp duty and other charges, that will be borne by the employer itself. At that time, contractor will not be taking any cost. All right. And now let's see the care and supply of the documents. So as you know, there are different type of the contracts. All right, there is item rate of the contract, item rate type of the contract, cost percentage contract, lump sum contract, and EPC type of contract, turn and key type of contract. All right, as we have seen in previous video, what is the turn and key type of contract. So the drawings and specification can be in contractor's scope also, if it is turn and key type of contract or EPC type of contract. All right, but generally if we see as per the FIDIC contract condition, so the custody of the documents, so whatever the document and specification or drawings that will be used for the particular project will be in the custody of the employer. So copyright will be having, whatever the copyright of the document will be there, it will be under employer. So without their permission, contractor cannot publish these things online or can supply to any other person. All right, cannot supply to any other person. All right, so copies of the contractor, so whatever the specification and drawings are there, two copies only will be issued by the employer to the contractor, and other six copies, you have to focus this, copies of the engineer, copies for the engineer, the copies shall supply to the engineer, six copies of each contract document by the contractor to the engineers. All right, so for each and every, whatever the listing that you have seen here, uh, in this priority of documents, okay, where it is, yeah, it's here, whatever you have seen here, all these things will be supplied by, only two copies will be supplied by the employer to the contractor, and other six copies will be supplied by the contractor to the engineer, and the cost will be beared by the contractor only. All right, so this is the thing that you have to take care. All right, and let's see the side document requirement. So whatever the type of documents were listed in above, contractor has the responsibility to keep at least one copy of each document at site level, and the employer at any time can visit and can audit. All right, so this is related to care and supply of document. So I hope you have the basic idea of the definition, interpretation, line languages, priority of documents, contracts, agreement, and care and supply of documents. So as a contract uh, practitioner, you always need to have something in your mind. I mean, you cannot remember class by class, but you need to have a knowledge that which part comes under which section.